Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon, so I'm going to set up play and review for the game Monopoly Deal card game. There's another version called Monopoly Deal, but it's very similar. This is slightly longer. This is only 15 minutes though, it's not very long at all. It's ages 2 to 5, well ages 8 plus, and it's for 2 to 5 players. I'll set it up as a 2-player game, which is a quick way of playing it. Everyone is going to take a reference sheet, and everybody is going to take, well if you're playing as a 2, I recommend taking one each. So basically you're going to have 2, and therefore you can see the how to win and the tips off to one side. So in this game, the aim of the game is to be the first person to complete 3 sets of properties, but they must be in different colours. If you've got 2 blue and a purple set, you do not end and trigger the end of the game. But let's say we're going to start. So everybody is going to take 5 cards. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have deliberately loaded this deck just to show the variety of stuff in here. So I've got myself an action card, I've got myself some money. All of this is going to be private information. And on your turn, you can play up to 3 cards. But before you do anything else, you draw 2 more cards. So here we go, I've got some options going on here now. So like I said, deliberately I've got different cards to show you what is in this deck. So what I can do now is play some cards if I want to. So now let's say I play this card. So in this case it's an action card. I'll place off to this side so I've played it. And obviously, or you can tap it sideways just to show that it's out of the game, it's in the discard pile. It lets me draw 2 more cards. So 1, 2. Now you do want to be playing cards, because if you do not, you will have to discard down 7 cards. Now in this case, I've got these cards in front of me, so I can play up to 3 cards. Let's do this. I play myself a Fleet Street, I play a Trafalgar Square, and I play a Wild. So it must be red, or it can be a yellow. And in this case, it's just like for what reds will give you, which is points. Basically rent into 6, so it's not points, but rent. In this case, I've now completed a set, so I'm already a third of the way to victory. I have played up to 3 cards. I cannot play anymore. That ends my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. I don't know what these cards are necessarily going to be, but they've got 5 cards here. Actually got one too many card. I can shuffle those in. So they've got these cards in front of them. In this case, you can steal a property set. So some of these cards I do know. So in this case, you can play it, and that is the only negative, the really bad cards. So now suddenly my opponent has got all of these cards. That's their first turn. In fact, they would have drawn up 2 more cards at the start of their turn as well. But if I happen to have had an action card saying just say no, then I could have stopped them from playing that. Equally, this card gives you $2 million. So that's the kind of stuff that you can see. Imagine it's my turn now, and I play this card. This says it's your birthday, all players give you $2 million. If my opponent does not have any money in front of them, they've got to pay me from their various cards. So again, this is not in the game anymore. That's a discard pile. But all of these cards, including action cards you can play in front of you, you can no longer take the action, but they're worth money. So they're worth $4 million, $2 million, etc. So you can choose to actually play these cards just for their value. So playing money out is a good thing, because it means when you have to pay taxes and rent or whatever it might be, you're paying that instead of having to give up a card. Normally you cannot steal completed sets. But in this case, this is the one thing, as you can see, it almost is a rule breaker, you might want to call it. So that's how the game's going to go. Again, you keep on playing, and you keep on going until eventually someone has got 3 sets. When I say keep on, it takes about 25 minutes, I would say, maybe slightly longer as a 2. So 15 minutes does seem too short. Lots of people like this over the original version of Monopoly. I do prefer it over the original. It's a lot quicker. There's no real sort of downtime, and there's no worry about actually luck of the dice. Of course, you can get unlucky, because if you're trying to get complete sets, then as you can see, it's fairly spread out. I like the color codings. You've got, these are white for 1, purple for 5, orange for 2, green for 3, and there's even a red 10 I've seen here too. So lots of stuff to discover, very enjoyable, quite flimsy cards I've talked about in the unboxing teaser trailer preview over video. But nice, for some reason only seems to come with 4 of these reference cards, not 5. I'm not sure why that is, but the entire game can be explained on one of those cards, and there's a little bit of information about the various rule books and basically the different cards you can play with as well. Again, you can get rent. There are rent cards, so you can get rent. You can get a house card, which can go on top of them as well. And you can also get a hotel, so you can place a house on it, which basically gives you 3 more rental income. And you can place a hotel on top of a house, should you have it. So this one adds an extra 3 money. We have railroads and utilities. You can't add houses to them though. And like I said, you can get those hotels as well, which adds again 4 rent. You can even double rent as well. So to play double rent, you need to play yourself a rent card, and it's going to match what you're trying to earn rent for. And then you can play basically something else as well, such as doubling it. But over here, you can swap one of your properties, but again, you cannot do it if it's a completed set, so it's unlikely I'm going to get that back. And we can have a quick look through. I don't think there's any more of those action cards that we've just seen. So One of the worst, okay, there's another one. So there's 2 in the game, so maybe hold on to the action card here to make sure that you can say no. So make sure you be aware of those cards, maybe hold them back. Remember, a hand limit of 7, your opponents might want to keep cards back in their hand, have a complete set and go wham to win the game. So there's peril going on here, which is very enjoyable too. That's it. That's been Monopoly Deal card game. Let me know in the comments the best on YouTube. Head over to Facebook to join the discussion. Occasionally competitions via Linktree, and also head through to the various pictures over on Instagram. That's been Monopoly Deal. Check out my other Hasbro kind of games on the channel as well, if that's your kind of stuff. But for now, back to the table.